Today, we're taking a look at the Honor X9. This is a budget mid-range phone from Honor with 5G support, but should you even consider buying this? Let's find out. The unboxing comes first. We get the Honor X9, SIM card ejector tool, clear case, 66-watt Honor SuperCharger, and a USB Type-C cable all in the box. Now just looking at the phone right away, it looks really similar to the Honor Magic 4 Pro with that same circular camera module. The overall design of the phone is very curvy and smooth. Gripping the phone feels really nice, but keep in mind it collects fingerprints like crazy. At the bottom of the phone, you're going to find the SIM tray, USB Type-C, and bottom-facing speaker. On the right, we get the power button with the built-in fingerprint sensor and the volume rocker. And up top, you're going to get the earpiece, which isn't really a second speaker, kind of disappointing. Now the side-mounted fingerprint sensor is fast and works pretty well. Not accurate all the time though, I had to do double takes to unlock it sometimes. One thing that caught my attention right away was the display. It's gigantic. We get a 6.81-inch FullView display with a 120Hz refresh rate. This is a 1080p panel with a screen-to-body ratio of 94%. That's a lot of screen. The bezels on the left, top, and right are quite thin, while the chin is slightly thicker, but regardless, massive display. Visuals on this look pretty decent. It's an LCD display, so not really the best. Visibility outdoors is okay, not really the greatest we've seen, at least at this price range. And also the viewing angles aren't really that good, and colors seem to be more washed out when you look at it from the side. But for average media consumption, I think it's pretty alright. The 120Hz does feel quite smooth, especially when it comes to navigation and going through different apps. This screen is also TUV Rainland low blue light certified and has a touch sampling rate of 240Hz, but more on this in the gaming section later. Now, on to the cameras. At the back, we get a triple matrix AI vision camera setup. We get a 48 megapixel f1.8 main shooter, a 2 megapixel f2.4 macro camera, and a 2 megapixel f2.4 bokeh or depth camera. The front camera on here is a 16 megapixel f2.45 selfie camera. Okay, for the most part, the main camera is decent. Images are sharp with nice colors, but the exposure was all over the place. 9 times out of 10, it was overexposed. Only when I tapped and dragged down the exposure is when I got properly exposed shots. Of course, massive disappointment that there's no ultra-wide camera. But hey, at least there's a macro lens, right? Yeah, no. The macro lens sucks. I don't know why Honor even chose to put a macro camera on here that literally nobody wants. The selfie camera is alright. Again, slightly overexposed, but still tolerable. The portrait mode is actually quite decent on it. Now the video performance. That's a whole nother story, and not a good story, unfortunately. So the video is capped at 1080p at 30 FPS. It's shaky, prone to lens flares, and the exposure is all over the place. The front camera video is even worse with really bad contrast levels, fake sharpness, and just terrible exposure. Oh, and take a listen to what the mic sounds like when you're recording video. Yikes. Okay, so the cameras aren't the best part, but what about the performance? Should you get it for gaming? Well, with this, you get the Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 5G processor with either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM and 128 GB of storage. Gaming on this was actually quite pleasant, I'll be honest. I was able to play with max frame rate with high graphics in Call of Duty Mobile, and the overall experience was really fun. The 240Hz of touch sampling rate makes it pretty enjoyable and smooth and makes you feel like you're actually interacting with the game, so the overall experience when I was playing this was a lot of fun, at least for Call of Duty Mobile and PUBG. Now day-to-day apps, navigation, and just using the phone is also quite smooth and snappy. So to me, the performance is actually one of the stronger suits on this phone. Now let's talk battery. The battery you're getting on here is a 4800 mAh battery with support for SuperCharge up to 66 watts. The charging speeds are quite good, giving you 0 to 80% in just about 35 minutes or so. Battery does last an entire day with medium to high usage, leaving you with about 25 to 30% at the end of the day. Do I recommend this phone? Yes and no. Given the price of this, there are a few alternates out there, other manufacturers, that do some things a little bit better depending on what you need. If you're going to be gaming on this and want a fairly powerful device with a huge display, the Honor X9 is a great choice. However, if you're more into mobile photography and videography, and you'll be taking more pictures and watching more movies, then this one might be slightly disappointing. Either way, it's a pretty interesting device to check out. I would recommend checking it out in person if you get the chance to. But yeah, this has been Omar from ProductNation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you did, like the video, consider subscribing for more content like this, and I'll be seeing you again in the next video. Until then,